This is the third time that I've tried to record this, so hopefully third time's a charm. But I wanted to talk to you all today about some of the work that we're doing with the student to recent graduate transition and what the programs initiatives look like in regards to making sure that students feel connected as soon as they graduate and turn into alumni. So my name's Allison Tony, and my role in the office is the Associate Director of Outreach and Engagement, student and recent graduate programs. So I really work with our Student Alumni Association, so that's STAT, Students Today, Alumni Tomorrow. I work on those student to recent graduate transitional programs, and then any recent graduate initiatives or programs that we have going on in the office. And you have my contact information there, but it'll also be provided at the end if you'd like to reach out or chat with me about anything or ideas that you have. So some things that we'll cover during this webinar are what is currently happening in terms of student to recent graduate programming, what are some areas for growth and or improvement, and then how can you and your chapters help. First, I wanted to bring up this quote. It was something that I found in the Harvard Business Review, and it says, "Despite being advised to hit the ground running, many young people we spoke with felt disoriented, confused, dissatisfied, and in many cases overwhelmed with the real world." And I think that's really true and kind of hits the nail on the head in terms of what we think about when students transition to alumni and some of those stressors that they're feeling, and they're feeling overwhelmed and kind of in a whole new world. And so how can we, as the Alumni Association, the Alumni Network, can provide that support and resources to recent graduates and make sure that they know that their connection with the university is lifelong. So first I wanted to go through some of the graduation programs that we have, and we have a few. So we have Grad Fair, the ring ceremony, Grad Bash, the Alumni Letters campaign, which is relatively new, and then the Adulting 101 series, which is brand new this semester. So I'll go into each one a little bit more in detail. First is Grad Fair, which is a one-stop shop for everything graduation related. Students come, it's a 3-day event. We host one on the Monroe Park campus and one on the medical campus. And when they come to Grad Fair, it's hosted at the Barnes and Noble. Typically, there are tables throughout the retail store that they can stop at. We've utilized kind of a passport program, so if they stop at each table, they could come back to our table at the very end to receive some type of prize. So what they can get at Grad Fair, their cap and gown, their announcements, their class rings, they can take pictures, they can chat with career services, they can chat with our office. There's some giveaways and things like that. So it's just kind of a nice opportunity for them to get anything and everything related to graduation. So like I said, when they've stopped at every table and then they come back to the alumni relations table, they would hand us their passport, and we would also ask them at that time to follow us on social media. Something that's really huge that we feel is important in our office is make sure that graduates connect with our social media channels as soon as possible. And usually they're really willing to do that. There's never been an issue or a concern that I've had. And so once they do both of those things, we'll give them a license plate frame. And then we have other swag at the table. We have a Get Involved card, which lists all of our chapters. So our regional, academic, shared interest, and affinity chapters, to kind of give them a glimpse in all the ways that they can stay connected. And then we've tried to have something that also lists through any of our upcoming programs and events, things that they could get involved with as soon as possible. One thing that I've really noticed, or an important aspect that I think we should all kind of abide by, is to get in front of the students as soon as possible. And so if we can show them some events that we have going on, they could take advantage of those, and they're more likely, or hopefully they know, that these are things that they can continue to take part in, or that will be happening when they graduate as well. Next is the ring ceremony, which is an opportunity for them to hear from an alumnus, to get their class ring. The class ring is just kind of that nice instantaneous connection and lifelong bond with the university. It helps students kind of see that they have that connection with alumni across the country, because by wearing and showing their pride, hopefully alumni are also showing and wearing their pride with the class ring. And when they see that, you kind of have that instantaneous connection and network that you can connect with a person about VCU. The nice thing is about the ring ceremony, it's also a really great time for our office to shine. And so, like I said, we have an alumnus that usually comes and talks about their experience, life after graduation, why the ring's important. We have information again about our services and programs and opportunities, and it's just another introduction into the world of alumni relations and why students would want to stay connected with us. Next is Grad Bash. So, if any of you all are aware or kind of heard about anything in the past, we've kind of had this event. It's transitioned or changed a little bit over the past few years, but we really feel like we've landed on something that's been working, and that's been Grad Bash. This past year, we held the first Grad Bash also in December, which was really nice. We have a large December and May graduation population. So normally we just kind of grouped everyone together with that May grad bash, but we decided to break that up. And so I think that was another great opportunity to celebrate students. And we always invited alumni volunteers, leaders, and boards to attend Grad Bash in May. What we did, which we thought was really helpful, was when students signed in and checked in, we gave them a sheet. And on that sheet, again, was listed all of our chapters and ways that they could stay connected with us. They could check off any that interest them. And then they would go to our table that had our volunteer leaders and board members there, chat with them a little bit about what they have going on and what they're working on, turn in that form. And then we had a better idea of some of the areas, and we've tried to connect students to some of those chapters and interest areas that they see fit. So it's been kind of a nice way to connect them immediately with opportunities and events and programs that we have going on in our office. It was also a place where we could collect updated information. So on that form as well, we said, John Smith, here's your email address and address that we have on file. If that's correct, great. Just turn it back into us. If it's not, please update it for us. We also asked them to provide a non-VCU email address, something or maybe a theme you'll hear me talking about throughout this presentation is that we're really trying to collect that updated information. That's a huge part of, I think, my job, making sure that once students transition out of VCU, that we have a way to stay in contact with them. And we really try to tell them, let us know where you're landing, if it's in Richmond, if it's in New York, if it's in LA, because you'll receive information based on where we know or where we think you live. And so staying connected with us is really important. And then finally, we again introduced them to alumni relations. We had someone speak about all the offerings that we provide, and just as another congratulations from alumni relations to them, and making sure that they want to stay connected with us. This year, this past year, we did 7,000, a little bit over 7,000 alumni letters, and they were in every graduate's diploma. So in December 2019 and May 2019, we had an alumni letter as well as a sticker in every graduate's diploma, which we thought was really awesome. It was a great way, it was kind of a nostalgic, touchy-feely way to introduce students to alumni and to say, you've got this alumni network. Many of them have been in your shoes. We are thinking of you. We're here for you, and we want to support you in every step of the way. And we want to tell you a little bit about our story and our journey. And so we're doing that again this year in May 2020. We solicited alumni, and we asked you all as leaders, as volunteers, to send in or write us a letter, and we are going to transition those into letters that will be put into graduates' diplomas. And we think that's another really nice touch point to say, these are what alumni are doing, and these are how they've stayed connected with the Alumni Association. Many of you all, when you wrote in your letter, you said, I volunteer, I continue to give back because I want to do this, this, and this, or because I really find it important and valuable and really meaningful to me. And so that's been kind of a nice connection or way to share with students why they would want to do that as well. And then finally, we're doing an Adulting 101 series. This has been a partnership with career programs. We've seen many schools kind of across the country do something similar, but it is a way for us to get in front of students before they graduate. So you can see we have 2 events scheduled prior to commencement and then 2 after commencement, to kind of show that connection of ways that you would want to stay, and showing them that we have these events in there for students and alumni, and we want you to take part in them now as well as after you graduate. And we hope these are kind of topics that feel really relevant to you right now as you're making that transition into the real world, and hopefully we can lessen some of that stress and anxiety you feel. So I've listed some of the spring 2020 dates. They're all going to be virtual, and so Ask the Experts is through our Brazen platform, which is the virtual chat. And then the other 3 will be in webinar format. And so you can watch them live, but you can also watch them recorded later. So we hope to see success with these as well. And this is something that we're going to try to continue to do year after year. Lastly, some additional communication efforts that we have every semester, so that's in the fall and the spring, we also do countdown to commencement emails. So those go out 75, 50, 25, 7 days to graduation, as well as 1 day to graduation. And they typically come from other students or peers saying, congratulations, I'm joining you in a few short days or in 25 days. Walking across the stage, here are some things you should remember. And so we've tried to highlight, some of them have been just a checklist of things that they need to complete. Some of them have talked about ways that they want to stay connected to VCU after graduation. The 7 and 1 day email have been either pep talks from recent alumni, so talking about why, what they're doing now and why they've wanted to stay connected and encouraging these new graduates and making sure that they feel loved and supported. And then the 1 day has really been something from the Alumni Association talking about how we're so excited for them to join the ranks of over 200,000 alumni across the country and letting them know about our services and our offerings and the support that we can provide to them. And then on kind of the opposite end, we also do recent graduate emails. So 30 and 60 days post-graduation, we send emails. And again, a common thread throughout many of these emails is to make sure students update their information. So in those post-graduation emails, similar message, don't forget to update us on where you've landed. That really helps us to connect you with programs and opportunities in your area. And then we've also tried to plug events. So we'll talk again about the adulting series. We'll talk about any other career related or networking opportunities that they could do. So we think that it's just kind of a nice way for them to stay connected, and they get kind of more personalized emails from us about opportunities that they can take advantage of as an alumnus. So as I was thinking about the student and recent graduate transition programs that we have going on, I also thought about some opportunities and areas for growth. And I think somewhere that we can continue to improve upon, and something that I'm always thinking about, is that updated post-graduation and non-VCU email information. As much as I can, trying to get from students a non-VCU email where they're landing after graduation is just so helpful for us to make sure they're getting accurate information from us and that we stay in contact with them. I would hate to lose these graduates right after they graduate and they don't hear from us for another year or 2 years. So making sure that they stay connected with us as soon as they graduate. I think plugging them into social media, like I said at the grad fair, that's been something that's been really successful for us, is asking students to follow us on social media. So continuing to try to do that, because I think those platforms are where we're sharing a ton of our information, are really useful. And so making sure that they know that we exist on all the platforms. Obviously I'm sure they think or they know that we have social media platforms or accounts, but just trying to encourage them to follow us as soon as possible. Again, plug them into programs or events before they graduate. So letting them know, here are the things that we offer. We want you to take advantage of these now. Come and join us so you can see how beneficial they are. If you all think of anything that might be helpful, especially if you're in regional areas that we could connect students to, please share that with me. I'm happy to try to pass that or include that in messaging to students. And then something that I also finally thought about is trying to find student advocates that are moving to areas. So thinking about if I can connect with either students that are graduating from STAT or other student organizations on campus that are moving to some of our highly populated alumni areas, is getting them to kind of be advocates for us and for their peers, to connect them with happenings or things that are going on in those areas. I think they can be crucial to really helping us advance our goals of getting more people engaged and connected with each other and with the alumni network, and they can be advocates for themselves and their peers. Lastly, how can you help? Attend events. So I mentioned all of these programs that we have going on. Alumni are always invited, and I encourage you to attend. I think it's a great way to plug into the events that we have going on, get connected with students, talk to them about what you all are doing, because you're doing some amazing things, and letting them know and kind of letting them already build that network with you personally and professionally, so they will want to stay connected once they graduate. Again, tell me if there are programs or events that I can plug for you. There are things that make sense that students could take advantage of now or before they graduate. Maybe there's something happening during their spring break that would make a lot of sense. Maybe there's something happening as soon as graduation is over that's in your area or that's with your affinity or shared interest group. Just thinking about things that make a lot of sense for students to connect with as soon as possible, because I'd like to show them all these like plethora opportunities that we have. And so it looks like, we do have a ton going on, but just so they know that all these opportunities are available to them and it fits their interest and their needs. And knowing that our timeline is always happening twice a semester, we really try to acknowledge our December and our May graduates, and keeping in mind that we have a lot of graduates at both of those times. And so making sure that each feel loved and supported, and we're sharing opportunities to get both of those graduates plugged in. That's all that I have to share with you all today. I hope that was helpful and can kind of give you a glimpse into the activities and programs that we have going on to help students transition into the alumni world. I'd love any of your comments or feedback or questions. Again, here's my information on the screen, my email address and my phone number. If you have any questions or have any other additional thoughts, please let me know. If you see anything that's happening either in your area or from other schools that you think would be really cool to do. I'm always looking for more information or for ideas as we continue to grow and improve these programs. But I hope that I'll see you all at events, and I'll make sure to share with you the student things that we have going on, and we'll continue to keep you posted on the programs that we have and the transitional events that we have going on that will really plug students in to continue to stay engaged and connected as an alumnus. I hope you all have a great day. If you need anything else, don't hesitate to reach out.